Morning.
Morning. Tamika and I just talked, so I know how she is today. But how are you, Tasha?
I am exhausted. I'm good. I've never really complained, but it's been a crazy week. Good, but like hundreds of things every day. Most nights has been an event on, which is fine. But then my son was really sick last night, and there was a storm, so I never slept at all. So I'm a bit tired. But other than that, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Tamika, you can tell us how you are too. I was just teasing you.
Oh, no, the exhaustion is a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Were
feel
you up with
that.
the storms too, Tamika?
Yes, it was like three something when I
Yep.
finally got out the bed and was like, what time is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Did it feel
Crazy.
Yeah.
like did it feel like the storm was just sitting on top of y'all?
Yes. It was a
Yeah.
lot. It was a lot. And we lost all electricity, everything. And
Oh,
then they said they wouldn't get back on until like 12 or 2. I'm like, well, that's not going to be great. But they managed to get it on about half an hour ago. So I was like, oh, that's good.
oh wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
and my husband's out of town. And Walden's not here. My son's not here till tonight. And so I was like by myself in the house. And so I
oh.
was like having a hard time sleeping anyway.
Oh,
And I'm like,
that's
Oh.
terrible.
storm and um I know. I'm like usually not that person. I'm usually fine by myself, but it was just weird. For some reason last night I was like,
No,
mm,
not happy.
It was quite an aggressive storm, I
yeah.
will have
Yes,
to say. So,
it was crazy.
because it woke me up out of some good sleep.
Darn it.
Yeah, yeah. And I
We
know it
also,
was bad because my lab, he can't stand storms, but he was quiet as a mouse.
oh, wow.
Oh,
Like
he
he
must have
wasn't,
been petrified.
yes, because normally he's like making noises and whimpering, but he was
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, my lad was on top of me. So he was really scared. I was like, come on. Just, and he was like wagging his tail and he bringing me stuff. I'm like, just go to sleep. Like, just get off me. So, but he was scared, I think, because it was a lot.
oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hi,
Hi,
Danny.
We're talking about
how's
the
everybody
storms
doing?
last night. I don't know if you were woken up at 3 a.m. with the storms too, but
I slept right through it. My
Oh,
wife
wow.
said it was pretty crazy, but I was out like a light, which is not often. So I'll take it whenever
good
I
for
can get
you.
it. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, good.
Where are you, Danny?
I'm at the office in Plano. So sitting in with Kelly today. We had a few client meetings that was really good for me to sit in on. So yeah, I'm at their office right across the street from Legacy Hall.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't realize they were there. Is it the WeWork?
No, I can't remember what it's called. Um,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize I didn't realize she was over there. I just talked to Kelly on the phone, so
oh, got you.
I've never gone to the office.
Did you talk to Kelly or you talk to Sydney?
Kelly,
Okay,
she does my bookkeeping
got you.
and all my financial planning. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not like I don't have enough money to talk to the big gun, Sydney.
You got to get
You
more.
know, so that's all right. That's all right. Something to aspire to.
That's right.
Um, good. Who are we missing? We're
oh, I
missing
don't,
Trish.
she won't be on,
Okay.
because I saw her Wednesday night.
Okay. Oh,
And
okay.
yesterday was her birthday, and I believe her husband was taking her out of town.
Aw, good.
So,
Okay.
forgot to
Awesome.
say that earlier.
Um, and then I know Rory, she has a regular meeting at this time. So she's kind of driving back, so she's always probably gonna pop in a few minutes late. So, all right, so here's our goal for today. Our goal for today is to go back to what we did when we decided on what's the strategy, what's the name, and really sit with it for a minute and start coming up with our first at least 5 episodes. You don't have to have the whole script ready, but at least the first 5 episodes, ideally the first 10. Because what I don't want to happen is for you to get like, let's put all our eggs in one basket and we'll get the first episode recorded and then it launches and we're all excited and then we have no idea what to do. Because we've all done that. And so what I want to do is to make sure you have a plan in place before we go any further of exactly what you're going to say and when and so forth. So there are a couple different ways. Does that sound good to everybody? Okay. So because each of you have different type of content, I don't really have anything I'm teaching, right, necessarily, because each of you, probably just need some time and individual laser coaching. So there's a couple different ways that we can handle today. We can all hang out, right? We can all listen to each other's questions because that might help us. We can just start talking and just, go around the room and, again, learn from each other. You can log off and go work on it for a while and come back on, and I can do laser coaching with you. What do you guys recommend? I'm open to handling it however you want, but I want to understand what you guys think is most valuable for you. You can always stay on the phone and just turn down the speaker if you want to just work for a minute and I'm coaching somebody else and you're like, I don't need to hear this. What do you guys think? I'm gonna make it a group decision.
I'd like to sit in and just hear everything, hear all conversation.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yay. All right. So Danny, you've been a little bit like, I know you're like, what is it? What do they say? Call it building the airplane while you're flying.
Yes, totally.
So have you and Sydney, is she coming on or are we gonna, or
Yes, she's taking care of her grandma right now. So yeah, she's hopefully going to be jumping on shortly. She just shot me a text.
okay. Let me look.
Yeah, she could jump on as soon as possible, but can't leave until she helps her nana. Yeah, she's going to jump on as soon as she can.
Okay. Do you want to wait for her or do you want to go?
I mean, me and her went over. I mean, we kind of got some planning for about 5 episodes last night.
Great. Yeah,
so that we had a little bit of a jump start.
Great. Let's talk through it.
All right, perfect. So we're thinking episode 1 is going to be basics of investing 101.
Okay.
Title of the episode, 1
And
to 2
remind
minutes.
me, did you guys come up with a title and a little description? Because I don't think we've ever gotten that far yet together. You guys may have done that and I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, so I think we've settled on a name of the podcast. I think so. I good thing she's not here because I don't want to put her on the spot, but it was the name that I did come up with.
Good for you.
It's it's gonna be called A Broader Breakdown.
Oh, okay. All right.
So keeping the the broad in it, keeping the broads in it, but now it's just broader. So it's so funny. The clients we were just meeting with, we introduced them and they were like, so you guys thought of another name yet? Since one is Ledger Ladies and the other one's Broad Basis. But for right now, we're going to be keeping everything as is.
Yeah, the first name of the business was Ledger Ladies for you guys. I designed that logo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think A Broader Breakdown is going to be the name.
Okay.
Still trying to come up with a catchphrase or slogan. Haven't quite narrowed that down.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
To answer that question, I think A Broader Breakdown is the name we're going to be going with.
And what's the promise that people like? Why do people want to listen? What's your brand promise when people listen? What will they get?
So kind of a fun, engaging, easy to follow guide into investing. Okay. We're
Okay.
not going to bore people with a bunch of numbers, stuff that's just going to bore people to death and they're going to click, within the first 3 minutes. It's going to be life situations, examples of clients that we have and how we've helped them, past wins, past losses, sort of that sort of thing.
Okay. Cool. All right. So first episode. Sorry. Thank you for going back.
Yeah. First episode, basics of investing 101, 1 to 2 minute introduction of who we are, how we got into this, and then rest of it, I think 2 to 8 minutes. A topic called following the herd.
Okay.
Kind of how people uh, sort of get into a confirmation bias. They don't necessarily look at facts. They look at the facts that are going to support what they already think. Okay, so it's going to be kind of going into like something I didn't really know. Last month, I believe we celebrated a 3-year anniversary into the bull market that we're in. I mean, if you would have
Okay.
told me that we're in a bull market right now, I would have said, what are you talking about? Everybody talks about how terrible the economy is and this and that. And that's not what the numbers say.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So,
Yep.
um,
Okay.
so
And
I think,
what's the format for this? Is this going to be, are you kind of you interviewing Sydney as she's talking about this? Kind of what's the dynamic going to be between, it's going to be the two of you, right?
yes,
And what's
bullet
the
point and going off the cuff.
Okay, cool.
Sydney's adamant. She doesn't want to do any script,
Right.
which, yeah, I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're not going to do 15 minutes of just winging it. There's
Right.
bullet points
Yeah.
that we basically go off of. I did tell her some of it is going to be scripted reality. Like, give me questions to interject at the 5-minute mark, and
Yeah.
and then we could just spin off, into the rest of the show.
Yeah. And that's
Like I said, I don't want
similar.
to wing it for 15 minutes. There's got to
Yeah.
be some.
Yeah. That's similar to what I do with Heart of the Hustle is
Mhm.
I'll meet, I'll have a planning meeting with people and then I'll have in my as the host, which will probably be kind of your role is, I'll do the introduction like, hey, welcome to today's episode of Heart of the Hustle, where today we're going to talk about blah, 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 which is
Mhm.
introducing my guest. Then I usually have like a couple questions prepared or like these are the top 3 things I want to make sure we connect, or that that Sydney in your case says. And then if we don't get to all of those 3, I'm going to need to interject a question that's going to bring that out. Right. So I think even if you go in with like, here's the 3 things we want to make sure get said in this, and then you as the host just kind of like have to guide the conversation like, okay, well, how does this play in? Right. And that's where
Mhm.
you're like, if she goes off on it, maybe goes off on a tangent or something, you know what I mean? Like you can
Totally.
bring it back. So I think it's good for you to have here's 3 things and that's enough.
Okay.
Right. And then the rest is it doesn't need to be scripted, but you want to have at least that. Like what are the 3 things that I know we want to cover? And then you can ask leading questions. And that will be your role in it. Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's a great first episode.
Yeah, I was super happy too because she will create the episodes and we'll have somebody else edit and launch
Okay.
out because
Okay.
we neither one of us want to get too bogged down with editing
Okay.
and then critiquing ourselves and oh my gosh, that I look terrible in this and
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to do
create
that
it,
or do
have somebody
you
edit
want
it.
our help? Okay. Do you guys have somebody to do that or do you want us to help?
We have somebody in mind.
Awesome.
You.
Okay, good. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Yeah, that was one of the things, from after our last meeting, I think it's great. I think I want to encourage everyone to use Riverside, but if you're looking at it and you're like Danny and those guys and you're like, totally love it, not gonna do it, then, we
Mhm.
can totally talk about doing it for you, but I wanted to at least show you. I've had that happen with multiple people where they're like, I love it, but so okay, great. All right. So great first episode.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna do in person or are you gonna do virtual or how are you gonna try and have her come to your studio?
She'll come to the studio.
Awesome.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
Got the
All right.
chairs
So
and the
tell,
table and artwork up, and it's like even more done now. So yeah, it's
it would
looking
be
really good.
great to have the broad basis logo behind you, right? It's pretty visually interesting
Yes.
if you wanted to get a big canvas with it. I
Totally.
I'll share this with all of you. I use shoot, Easy Canvas Prints. easycanvasprints.com. They always have like, especially around the holidays, they'll have like 90% off sales. So that little in my studio, I think you've all been there. There's a, just a little, I only have a space that's about this big. I think I spent like 20 bucks on that.
Okay.
Like not very expensive. You can just do a basic canvas. It doesn't, a neon sign is great. I haven't even invested in a neon sign, right? For
Yeah.
my, especially if you're doing a 2-angle setup. What
Mhm.
I realized was I was like, I'm just going to buy the canvas for the middle. And then, once the business is moving, then I'll buy a neon sign. And then I realized like no one even sees that view anyway, because it's
Mhm.
all just looking at the people. So why
Yeah.
spend the money on it, right? It's
Mhm.
great for like the behind the scenes pictures, but it's not totally necessary. So,
Okay.
but it's an idea
What
if you
was the
want to.
name? Easy Canvas Prints.
Easy Canvas Prints. Yeah, Tasha.
Just on that same topic, because I'm in the process of converting, not converting, but using the green room as the studio. So
Very
I was thinking
cool.
about different ways of the backdrop, because obviously you can have the green screen, but I don't want the green screen there all the time. Either having just like a sheet or, as you say, having something with a logo. But then I remember you saying that Natalia was going to do a frame. Will the frame not have the logo on anyway? Because I don't want to over logo everything.
Yeah.
So that's
That's the
okay.
nice thing about using a frame is you
Okay.
don't really need, it just needs to be clean.
Yeah, that's I was thinking of a very neutral color because
Yeah.
our brand colors are like quite dark. So I think the neutral color, and then I can always wear blue. My dad can always wear red, and kind of
Yeah.
bring in the colors that way, but keep the background really neutral. That's what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah.
Because then the
Here's,
frame might be colorful. I don't know.
yeah. Here's one thing you'll have to get in there and play with it. So in my studio, because the cameras are here, if you've got two people, right? The cameras are here when it's pointed at me or my guest, you don't just see the backdrop, you also see what's behind them. So you have
Around
to,
it.
yeah, either round it or you need 3 walls worth of coverage
Okay.
to look good. Or you're going to only be going straight on and you'll only get like the side of kind of the side a very harsh side angle of their face. So if you want to get kind of a more upfront look like I have in Heart of the Hustle, you're going to have 3 walls.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you
And now
need
so
three
Danny,
cameras for that or two? I mean, would you
huh?
need one that's just focused one on and then one
No,
pointed?
like what we did with Danny's setup is we did your setup, Danny. And what we did
Mhm.
with in my studio, I only have 2 cameras, one for each participant.
Okay.
And then you can use, an editing software to go back and forth.
Okay.
Um, I have my little Osmo 360, whatever the thing is. My idea was that I would have one that actually gets the whole room as like a B-roll kind of thing. Right now, I have my studio assistant kind of using it just to walk around and take some B-roll and stuff. So I don't record the whole thing straight on. I don't think you need 3 camera angles. I think that's overkill. You can if you
Okay.
want, but now you're gonna have to have another camera
Yeah.
and another computer. So
Oh yeah.
I know we're talking a little bit about setup, but I think this is an important thing that I want you to keep in mind, Tasha, is if you're going to use Riverside so you can edit it yourself, you're going to need to have two computers, one that connects, right? Each computer logs into Riverside and captures each person.
Yeah.
So then, remember in Riverside how it would give you, the AI will show whoever is talking. Well, that
Mhm.
means that you're going to have two different people logged
Mhm.
in. And the only way to do that is to have two computers.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's how I have it in my studio because I needed, and I don't use Riverside. I might go back to using Riverside for it, but um, you need good Wi-Fi, and I just didn't feel like it was strong enough. And so, we wanted something a little bit more professional. So the other option is you don't use Riverside. You just record locally on your computers, but you still kind of need two computers. And then you have somebody help edit it later, not in Riverside. So that's the only Riverside's great when you have remote people, but if you're together in the studio, um,
One angle's good then.
what you can just do one angle. I don't find it as engaging, right? And if you're going through all this effort, usually you have another computer around, right? And you guys can just
Yeah.
use both of your computers,
Mhm.
right? Full disclosure, even with me, one of my studio computers is my husband's computer, and then I just use it when I'm in the. Wasn't supposed to be,
Yeah.
but he needed a nicer computer. So just something to think about, Tasha. Same thing with you. If you're doing these in-person interviews, like Danny, his wife had a computer and he had a computer, so there were two computers in the room, so it was easy to do. All right.
I mean, most of them will be, as I said, they're all over the world, so most of them won't be in person. It's the times that I'm kind of filling
Right.
that will be just me and my dad mainly. But then I do have quite a few people I'd like to interview locally as well. So it'll be a
Yeah.
mix. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And we can think through like, where are you going to be and where's your dad going to be if you have another host, if you have another guest,
Mm-hmm.
right? What does that look like? And a good example of that is, shoot, I'm looking at my bookcase because I have a book by her on my bookcase. I will think of it in a minute.
Thank you.
But she has a podcast. She and her wife are on one camera, and then they have a podcast with her sister. It's not Brene Brown. It'll come to me in a second. And so they do a similar kind of thing where they have one camera on the two of them, and then they have a guest. So I'll look for that as an example. Okay, Danny, tell us more. You've got like you went from like I don't know what our plans are to like having 5 episodes planned out. So I'm super impressed. So tell us the rest.
All right. Episode 2, Finances 101, which will cover like your monthly debt, student loans, things of that nature. Didn't get really too much into the specifics of that. We need to just kind of fine tune that.
Okay.
Episode 3 would deal with insurance.
Okay.
So property casualty, term, whole life, annuities, things like that. Episode 4, Sid had a funny title, Annuities, Why They Suck. And, that, how some annuities aren't the best option for somebody at that time. And, kind of how Broad Basis takes a holistic look at it, at your tax burdens, and does sort of an analysis that way. Again, need to get fine tune the actual content. And episode 5 was titled Helping Mom and Dad. So,
That's great.
wills and trust, sort of final expenses, that's and things of that nature.
Okay, great. I think for all of those, you could probably break all of those down into smaller episodes.
Okay.
So For example, like finance one, like, you know, let's do the parent one, because I have some friends who are going through this right now. So
Mhm.
they've talked about it recently. And so it could be helping your parents, but you could do one episode like that, but then you could look, we're going to be talking about this over the next, you know, the rest of this month. So then
Mhm.
you could do like what happens after mom and dad pass, right? What happens with the money when mom and dad pass, and
Mhm.
why it's important, you know, why that, and that would be like
Yeah.
why it's important to have a trust or whatever you guys recommend, right?
Mhm.
Um, or you could have an attorney come on and talk about like wills or,
Mhm.
right? What happens to mom and dad's investment account when they pass, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Um, what happens, you know, how to manage your finances when someone else is, I don't know, whenever someone else is you know, how
Mhm.
can you have access to your parents' finances while you're taking care of them and they're incapacitated, right? Those, and they would
Mhm.
be short, but I think that there's a lot of content you could create there because we tend to want to, and this is true for everyone, we tend to want to do a kitchen sink, right? Kind of, you know, like I want to do like how to grow your business with marketing. And
Mhm.
that's like a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And the podcast that nobody's going to like Google that, or if they do, it's going to be real hard to find you. So you want to find micro topics underneath that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't do
Mhm.
that episode, but then find the micro topics underneath. And again, you can say the same damn thing, right? You can take what you did and then break it into 5 episodes, right? Tamika, I see your hand up. I'll be there in a sec. Um, so like the podcasts that have done best for me are like, um, I'll pick on Tamika, you know, should I use LinkedIn to grow my business, right? To grow my coaching business or you know, something very, very specific. Those actually do better because that's what people are going to be Googling for. Should I start a podcast? Right? That's a very, you know, a kind of a short one. How to set up my home studio, right? Those are like these short pieces that are much more Googleable because somebody's not going to say like Finance 101. And if they do, you're going to have a lot of competition. But what happens to my parents' money when they're incapacitated and I'm, you know, like, or whatever, those micro topics underneath. So think about them that way too. You can do all
Okay.
these 5 episodes, but you probably are going to have enough fodder in those to then make 20 more.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense?
Absolutely.
Tamika?
I just wanted to give two real life experiences that might also be good topics for you, Danny. Um, my husband's mom, when her father was alive and he was in a nursing home, he was actually still paying for her brother's life, like his apartment and all the things, right? Um,
Mm.
but then I think he was getting Social Security too, and then Social Security came in and said, "Oh, wait a minute, you got all this money to pay for your son to live. We don't need to be sending you money." Like so helping people understand that what their situation, like the detriment that will follow if you do certain things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the most recent one is my father-in-law is in a nursing home, and the VA is paying 100%, right? But his status has changed to where they're only going to pay 70%. And
Mhm.
so, helping people understand how that impacts all the other things that they're doing from their, financial journey when it comes to helping parents.
Love that.
um,
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
the VA one would definitely hit a broader group of people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's super Googleable.
Broader.
Googleable.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that people are going to search for that more specifically, right? So, um, I would
So
look for
are you
some of
saying
those.
that, so should the titles be a little bit more, you know, micro topic
Both.
specific?
Both. Yeah. And I think these are good, broad. They're almost, especially the first few, they're almost like content pillars, but there can be micro topics underneath, and the titles should be very specific. Because, and you want to think, what would someone be Googling for about this topic that would bring them to me, right? So I was gonna pull up my YouTube because I was just doing some analysis of like which the more specific the title, the better, because it's gonna be someone who's looking for something very specific, you know, who's looking for just that.
No, that makes
Um,
perfect sense. Yeah.
yeah. So if I look, I wanted to show manage videos. Mhm. I'm trying to find a good example. Leveraging this to grow your business. Like one of my most popular ones is how to create a custom chat GPT that sounds like you. And that's a very like popular, like, you know, very Googleable, right? You know, kind of thing. I do like how to make networking. No, I did a Mr. Beast. How to do networking without feeling weird or salesy. I do a little, you know, but these kind of micro, I'm trying to find a good example. Um, hmm, Social media content ideas when you have no ideas. That's one of my most popular ones. So it's a very specific problem. It's not like growing your business on social media. It's like coming up with topics or whatever. So I hope that's helpful. I'll have one that's like how to create a social media profile. That's good. And that's a very specific topic under social media. So I have one on like how to market your Black Friday deals. Like that's again, overall marketing, but very specific. So I hope that's helpful. And you could again just start. You know, I don't want you to like overanalyze it, but you could start and do these 5, and then you could always like just let it just start. But you could then take the transcript and you could, as you're, you know, we're going to go through this next time, but as you're going through like Chat GPT and having it make you resources, or we could do this together, we could always say, can you come up with micro topics underneath this that I could use to do 10-minute, 10-minute videos that have topics that are highly searched, that are searched very frequently among my target audience, who is this and this and this. And then we could use that to come up with other kind of micro ideas. ChatGPT is great for that kind of thing, right? Like, help me look at this and break it into pieces because I can't see it. I use it for that a lot. Or here's all my disjointed pieces. How do I put those together? Now if you give it direction, it's going to tell you that everything you do is brilliant. And it doesn't mean you're going to get good direction. I had that happen. I mean, I had that happen to me yesterday. I've been working on my offers for next year, and ChatGPT told me I'm brilliant and that all this was a great way to market it. And then now I'm like shopping it a little bit. And I met with my coach yesterday. She's like, it's too much. It's too confusing. It's not clear. And I'm like, ChatGPT told me I was so smart. So, it's good, but so it's definitely another data point. And I think it does a good job of helping you with both of those things. So, good. Danny, I'm proud of you guys. It's awesome.
Thank you.
The next thing for you and for everyone else is I want you to actually put together a calendar where you have these written down. Because if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. Anybody else like that? Okay. So in the workbook, told you guys to use Trello. And I'm going to show you guys, this is my Trello board. You don't have to do what I do, but I just want to kind of show you how I do it. So, here is my Trello board. We manage all of our marketing on a Trello board. So November, we're still filling out November and December. It's in other places, but you can see under October, this is all the things that we've posted, right? But what I want to show you, we can do a deeper dive into this if you would like, but I wanted to show you 2 columns. Here's my Your Marketing Mentor podcast. So what I did for my Your Marketing Mentor podcast, I went through recently and I set up a plan through February. And I had ChatGPT help me. So I said, look, here's all the things I'm selling next year. I want to, I have this Your Marketing Mentor podcast. I want to promote a different product each quarter, each episode. Can you help me decide what my title should be? Let's make sure they're SEO optimized, like all that. So I had it help me, kind of brainstorm on titles. So I have all these coming up. So November 6th is going to be why guessing isn't a marketing plan. Then I've got simplify your marketing framework, how a podcast can skyrocket your visibility, lessened from coaching 10 new podcasters, right? Is that you guys? It'll be 5. I don't know. Lessons I learned from teaching this class, how to market your podcast, behind the mic, how to stay consistent and keep loving your podcast, right? How to build trust fast with short videos, right? It's talking now, moving away from podcasting into more short videos. Then I'm speaking at PodFest, so I didn't have that and that's one thing I will share with you is if you are someone who does speaking, Tamika, I know this is something for you. Use it, man. Use it for content, depending on the topic of your show, right? But for Tamika, that might make sense for you. For my Your Marketing Mentor podcast, that makes sense. So if you look through my podcast, especially over the summer, I had a lot of speaking engagements. I recorded them and I made them into podcast episodes. So you can, use all of that stuff. And then I've got repurposing content. So my point in this is I'm scheduled. I know what I'm going to talk about for the next couple months. And I think it's good to have that because the last thing I want is for it to be the last minute and I don't have something planned and it's not aligned with my overall strategy. And I'm like, crap, what do I talk about today? And I haven't committed to be out tomorrow. And right. Also, the holidays are, with the holidays coming, though you guys aren't going to launch until January 5th, but you want to plan around holidays, right? Especially if you've got something that's like more focused on parents, which none of you really do. That might be something. Tasha, if you're working with a lot of people overseas, everyone takes August off, right? So you might be like, we're not going to do episodes in August, but having it on your calendar just forces you to do it. So that's how we manage it. Or I manage it. And again, I'm happy to show you the rest of the Trello board at some point if you guys want to kind of look through it. I find it so helpful. I have 3 years of archived content, so I can go back and pull up any post, any video, anything that I've done in the last 3 years. And 3 years ago, I didn't have that, but I just started doing it in Trello, and then it's just become this repository for me. So we can have a little bonus class on Trello and how I manage it. But I just wanted to kind of at least show you that for now is whatever you use to manage yourself. Tamika, you've got your planners. Tamika had a class last night where she hung out with people who love planning notebooks, planners, and planned everything out. So put it in your planner. And not only the episode dates, but you're going to want to build something around that as well. So you're going to want to build the checklist around that. So when am I gonna post? When am I gonna record? What day am I gonna work on editing? Right? What day is my first launch? Does it go live? Then and we'll talk about this next time under marketing, but then when do I promote things from a marketing perspective? I'll show you one other thing I have in Trello. So for my Your Marketing Mentor podcasts, I have a checklist for each of these. And so what we can do is you can see my assistant already went in and added dates to all the things. So next time when we go through and talk about marketing, it's good to create a list for each of these. That is, here's all the things that I need to do for each episode. And then put that in whatever organizational thing you use.
Are you putting the caption in there too?
For the reels,
Or yeah, for any of the socials that you're posting it to? Because I know
yeah,
you're on Facebook, and you post on LinkedIn.
yeah. Let me show you what I do for that. So over here, I'll use a Heart of the Hustle as an example. So
Okay.
here's the main episode for Scott,
Mhm.
and then underneath that we have all the things.
Mhm.
Forgot we need to check those off so they're not red, but we have all the things and what days they're going to happen. So I create separate cards for each of the reels themselves. So like here's the
Mm.
second reel with a date because it ends up being too much in one card.
Okay.
So I like having one place where I'm like, this is all the things I'm gonna do, but then for each task, I will often do a separate card because it gets to be too much real quick. Because if now, like, especially if you're really utilizing your podcast to create content, you're gonna have 10, 15 pieces of content out of it. It it gets to be a lot in a card in Trello.
Mhm.
There are probably other systems where you could manage it better and it would be okay. I find in Trello it's too much for my little brain to manage. So I put them in here.
Okay.
Um, and we just find it to be a little bit easier. So then you'll see like Tamika, who's gonna be on the show on Monday. So here's her checklist of when everything's going to come out. Her full episode is done. And then we actually over here in content in progress, you will see that we
Yeah.
have all the reels for Tamika and they each have their own thing. They're done. We just haven't uploaded them in here. So,
So excited.
yeah. So
Okay. Thank you.
that's how I manage it. You can do it however you like it, but that's how I do it.
Yeah.
And again, I think different systems are going to be better, right? Or different. Just do it
Mhm.
in a planner, everybody's a little bit different. But that's my brain is very visual, so I like Trello because it's very visual. So we manage everything on here. Okay. Cool. Danny, good job. Who wants to go next? Like Tamika's got the please don't call on me face. So she's got the all right, you guys can fight it out. Who
So
wants to go next?
I,
Okay.
I let's wing it, okay?
Okay, let's do
I
it.
know episode 1.
Okay, great. So remind us of your title, remind us
um,
of what, your
yes.
podcast brand promise is.
Well, so actually I need y'all's assistance with selecting said title. So there are 4 options. They're
Okay.
all available for me to
Great.
purchase. I just want to know which one y'all like. So, first one, Digital Swagger Uncovered. Digital Swagger Diaries. Diaries of Digital Swagger. And Digital Swagger Diary. So it's the same words, just different. Hello? But I'm trying to stay away from putting LinkedIn in the title.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be heavy in the description.
I know we brainstormed a lot of different things that we talked about, even doing like a interview show where you do live audits. So what are you
Mhm.
going to do in the show? What's the format? Because that will
So,
help.
okay, so the format, it's definitely going to be every other will be a solo, and then I will do an audit or an interview on someone who has um, just really shown up the way that they really want to show up, like maybe a past client. Like one client comes to mind. She's like my star pupil that I know she would be more than happy to do an episode with me just to talk about her journey.
Okay.
But I
And
do
I
want
think
to. I
you
do
could
like
do
to.
it with people who aren't your clients too, right? It's like a famous person, right?
Yeah.
Like you could be like, all right, let's look at famous people's and see how well they do. Like famous business people.
Yes, like Snoop Dogg.
Does he have a good LinkedIn?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know, but he does have a LinkedIn. And he's very or he was very active, or somebody on his team was very
Yeah.
active.
Let's be honest.
But
Okay.
he was upfront about I had no idea about the power of LinkedIn when he first started. So um yeah.
By the way, great add-on piece of content, right? So our goal from a marketing perspective is we're creating this podcast so that we can have ongoing content, but you're gonna want to have other pieces of content in there too, right? It can't just be, clips of your podcast. Those are great, but you have to do some other stuff. So that's a great one, right? That's it. Like
Mhm.
if you can find a clip of him saying that or something like that, those are great. So,
Okay. He's got
um,
I mean, he's got a decent, I mean, no, but he's Snoop Dogg, so people will follow him anyway, just because, you know. But there are some former NFL players that have really gotten into the business world and have some really nice profiles.
okay. All right.
So, so yeah. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm I'm trying to generate business from sellers, sales leaders, their companies to get to utilize my services. Um, so this is just a feature of one component, which is not actually the marquee component, because the marquee component is I would say, sales navigator piece. But it's getting them comfortable with the actual base platform, which is LinkedIn, I think is helpful. Tell me if I'm missing the mark here.
Yeah. I think we want the podcast to be promoting the main product.
Okay.
So we have to ask, is this for sales leaders or is this because you've got kind of two parts of your business? We know that 90% of it's going to be corporate business leaders, right?
Mhm.
And their teams. And the rest will be individuals, like us who just entrepreneurs who are like, I want to make my LinkedIn really good. So, does the plan for the podcast tie in with that, right? And I think you could do it that way, right? You could talk about like, I worked with the sales team. We're going to talk about individual profiles. And then maybe the individual, so you've got two pieces, right? One is I'm going to audit your team and make their profiles really good. And then the second thing you do is then I'm going to teach you how to use Sales Navigator in a really cool way,
Mhm.
right? In a way that's going to drive your business.
Mhm.
So maybe those are the two different pieces. Or you can have three content pillars, right? One is the live audit of people's profiles. And bonus points if it's a sales leader. But you could do that with entrepreneurs too. I think that would translate right? So they're learning, on the fly and watching you be brilliant. Maybe the second content pillar is like things in Sales Navigator you never knew, right? And then the third one is like um, case studies. And you can just rotate through those. And those are the different types of content that you have in your podcast. My question is, I love digital swagger, but how do we tie it in with making money? Because I know that's been the most important thing that you've got going on, right? Like, I mean, from a messaging perspective,
Mhm.
it's that shift from individuals to corporate. And so I think we can, I mean, maybe it's making money with digital, growing revenue with digital swagger, or
Ooh.
right? Just that it's, and that's too many words, but um
What'd you say? 5 words or 4?
really 3 or 4.
Mhm.
But I think I know we love the digital swagger. It's just how do we tie it in with
Mhm.
the sales leaders,
Yeah.
right? How do we make sure that we're attracting them? Because they're not as worried about looking good. They're worried
Yeah.
about making money. And if that's going to where 90% of your business is going to be, 75, 90, whatever, then we need to make sure that they're like, oh, this is for me, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I have
so
a little, well, it's not little, it's like a cohort or program that I do want to launch at some point. And I kind of branded it Leader Shift. So not ship, but shift. And the
yeah,
intent is for, leaders to go from being that local leader to showing up globally
yeah,
on LinkedIn, you know, because so many like sales leaders, they will think that, I'm VP of sales. Everybody in my organization knows me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm top dog. But if they were to unfortunately get laid off or, move on, who else knows you? No one.
yeah,
So you have to have that, you need to shift that leadership mindset to a global platform so that you are visible for more people and more opportunity.
yep, yep. But that's only one person who's only going to pay you once. We want companies who are going to pay us on an ongoing retainer.
Oh, absolutely. But
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
leader shift is like a mindset
yeah,
every.
totally. Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. You were totally right. So, didn't we come up with some funny copy when we came up with like this super direct copy around growing your business, like unrealistic goals.
Oh, yeah, let me pull it up. It's like
We came up with some funny ideas, you guys, on like because I work with Tamika one-on-one too, and around like you have goals and they're probably unrealistic, but you still have to do them anyway. And every corporate sales leader is like, are you kidding me with these goals right now? Like they're all like that, right? And so kind of just leaning into that and being like, yeah, this is what you got. How do we, and I think you could do corporate swagger, but I think we need to connect it with money, right? And we have to, then you can sell to the salespeople, sell to the sales leaders.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm helping your team have better digital swagger so you can grow your revenue, right? But we have to connect digital swagger with money, I think, revenue, because
Mhm.
otherwise it reads as I'm insecure on LinkedIn, which is part of it,
Mhm.
and not the end result, which is money.
Yeah. I'm still scrolling through all this stuff. There was a lot.
Yeah. So we'll come back and think about it. So but noodle on that. I want to think about I'm going to go through your episodes first. So if we've got these 3 content pillars that
Mhm.
you're going to do. So one is live audits,
Mhm.
right? Of people's stuff, or they don't even have to be on the phone, right? You could just ask their permission
Oh,
and be
okay.
like, hey, unless you want that ton of dynamic back and forth. Some people are great at accepting feedback and some are not.
Yeah.
And so it is a difficult conversation for you to be navigating with a recorder on,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
It's a little like Danny trying to like do financial planning with someone live in a call, right? Like people don't, like that, but then wait, Danny, it's worse for you because it's like money and people. Maybe it's just me. I don't want to talk about it. So you could just say, hey, my latest victim today to, do an audit is so and so. I'm super excited that they're gonna, Now it depends. I think you have the personality that you can navigate that conversation in a very lovely way and people would love it. But I just want you to like think about that. Like, what's that dynamic? Because there is inevitably going to be somebody who's going to just shut down when you give them any kind of feedback. So you're going to want to, when you're vetting guests, make sure you have somebody who's going to be like, Tamika
Yeah.
and I were talking earlier. We had a one-on-one session. We were talking about how sensitive we are, and that if we're speaking at an event, and like at least me, and if somebody has like resting bitch face, that we just like lose our mind, like we just can't, like we will just completely lose what we're doing and our train of thought, and we'll be super mad, and we'll, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I'm blowing it. This is terrible. And then I'll get all, my knees will start shaking, and then I get all like teary. And so like I can't look at people. Like I can't look people in the eyes. So we were talking about like looking at their foreheads instead of in their eyes. And it could be that their dog died. Like it has nothing to do with you 90% of the time. But so this is you are opening yourself up to that potential in this. So you're going to have to navigate who you bring on. So 3 content pillars for you. 1 is live audits. 2 is, I think you start showing some sales navigator expertise. And I think you get hyper specific because you don't want to give away the farm because they need to hire you. Right? So those could be very little specific settings, and it could be 8-minute videos, right? Like you could do the like how to turn off your privacy so people don't know you're stalking you,
Yeah.
right? So just between us girls and Danny, um Tamika used to work at the company where my ex-husband is now a partner, and so we were just stalking him on LinkedIn because I couldn't remember what part of EY he worked at. And I was like, she was offering to introduce me to someone. And I was like, as long as my ex-husband isn't in it, because then he would be all weird and all that. Right.
That would be a little weird, yeah.
So I pull up his LinkedIn profile and I'm like, because I wanted to remember which division of this company he works at. So Tamika doesn't like introduce me to his colleague. And then it's weird because he's, whatever. And then I was like, and so he said, oh my God, Tamika, can he see that I'm looked at his profile? Right. But that's a great little podcast. Like that's a great, very Googleable, because if you weren't on the call, I would have been like, oh my God, how do people know if I stalk them on LinkedIn? Right. Or how to turn it off. And I think that's a great topic. Like that's something that people would totally Google. Or like sales navigator, how to find top 3, how to find keywords to search your ideal client on like Sales Navigator. And I think it's all going to be stuff that you'll teach
Mm-hmm.
in your courses, but that doesn't mean, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. I mean, I think it's fine. I teach all this stuff, in my podcast too, but it's about curating it, right? That's what they're paying for, is curating all
Right.
that knowledge. So then that's the second thing that I would do. And then the third, I think you could do an occasional, right? Hey, I thought I'd look at Snoop Dogg's LinkedIn. Like, let's have fun stalking celebrities. And they could be business celebrities or otherwise. I think that could be super fun, right?
Yeah.
Um, And you could do like, I mean, Snoop Dogg is a fun one. And and it would have been very topical to do like during the Olympics, right? Or
Well, he's doing the Winter Olympics, so that'd be
yeah, cool. Right. So during the Winter Olympics, you could be like, if anybody watching the Olympics right now is loving Snoop Dogg, right? Um, and then because he'll be getting Googled a lot,
yeah.
right, during that time. You could do like Warren Buffett, right? Um, you could do uh, you know, major leaders of corporations. Um, you could do politicians, right? And be like, hey, this person's running for mayor. And, you know, here's a you could also going back to the first pillar of like doing live audits with people, it might
Mhm.
be kind of fun for you to invite people who are like running for local office. I'm just thinking about my friend's sister is running for mayor in Frisco. And that could be a fun podcast episode for her to be on that raises her visibility, right? But she also gets something out of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, though you could reach out to some of those kind of people and be like, hey, I see you're running for office. Can I give you a free LinkedIn audit? And you run it on your platforms in mind. So I think you can
Okay.
be very strategic about that too.
I like
So
that.
based on that format,
Hmm.
right, and those content pillars, why don't you take a minute, or we can do it together and come up with what, like, how does that connect with the topics that you already had outlined?
This is better than what I had in mind.
Okay.
And so with that, I need to change my name, the total direction. 'Cause I don't think the digital swagger.
I love digital swagger, but I don't know if it.
Hmm.
I like the name too. If I would only add one little tiny thing to it, I would just
Yeah.
take out the I would just make it digital swag diary.
Or
Digital,
digital swag that sells. That's 4
yeah.
words.
Oh.
Other than that, I like the name too.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can all say hi to Sydney. Her camera's off and her mic's off, but she joins us.
I'm
Hi.
I'm here and I hear you guys. I'm
Sydney.
in the hospital with a family member, but leaving soon. So, anyways,
Hey Sid, we already did Danny's part, so you are welcome to listen in, but we're going to be working with Tamika and Tasha for the next little bit. So if
yeah, I'm enjoying the conversation. So
so,
I'd love to stay if y'all don't mind.
yeah,
But
we would love it. We would love it.
okay,
And it's nice.
great.
It's nice to talk to you. I
Well,
haven't
I'm
seen
glad
you
I
in a
can
couple
see your
years.
face. I'll shoot you a text
Okay.
later on. I'll be on the road.
Okay. Sydney and
Thanks.
I have a mutual friend, which is how we met like 9
Like
years ago.
I was gonna say, like 10 years ago. Yeah,
Like
long
10 years
time.
ago. And our friend, mutual friend used to had a boat. And so we like hung out in the boat a bunch. And then she started this business. She introduced me to Kelly, who's her business partner,
Mm-hmm.
who happened to have extra land. And I had a 1972 Shasta RV that I had made into a photo booth and I needed a home for it. So Kelly ended up renting me a little piece of her land so I could put my trailer there. And then they together ended up starting this business. So I designed their first logo and I've been
And
with them
you
ever
did. You
since.
designed our first logo and everything else. And here we are,
I
several
know.
years later, still rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and like killing it. They're killing it. It's really exciting to watch. And you've got the best new employee.
Yes, we do. I adore Danny. Very lucky.
So good. I'm glad you're here, Sid.
Thanks.
Um, so yeah, what about I think Danny, I love that idea of digital swag. I think she has trademarked digital swagger, Tamika.
Hmm. Yeah. I yeah, I do like the digital swag that sells.
We do digital
Thanks a
swagger
lot,
that
Danny.
sells.
No.
Try to make it roll off the tongue.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. What did you say, Sherry? I'm sorry.
You could totally do digital swagger that sells.
Yeah, I like that.
and not
Okay.
have to change anything else. And you've got that trademark and you've been using it and it works for both audiences.
Okay. Because I mean, Digital Swagger was born from corporate America.
Right. Right. Right.
So, all right, I like that.
Okay, so let's talk about let's brainstorm on your first 5 episodes.
Episode 1 is just an introduction to who I am and how I got to where I'm at, or how I got to this point, how the Digital Swagger came about, and all the stuff with LinkedIn and Sales Navigator.
Great. Okay.
Episode number 2, well,
So our
I
first thing is audits. So you can audit me if you need a guest.
Okay.
You can audit me.
All right.
My LinkedIn is not great and I need it to be better. And I was planning to hire you anyway. So maybe I'll get it for free.
All right. So, okay, I'll audit you.
If you want to, I'm sure any of us on the phone on this call would be happy to have you do ours.
Okay. Well, okay, episode 2 will be an audit for someone.
Okay.
Episode 3 will be I'll just start going through, like, I'll pick one of my favorite feature that most people don't use.
Awesome. Or you could do the how to make sure people don't know you're stalking them.
You know what? Can we do that first? I
Yeah,
think
do
we
whatever
should
you
do
want.
that first.
This is your baby. You do you. I
Okay.
like to have content pillars because
Mhm.
it sets a framework for me. Now, if I don't do it exactly like that every time, that's okay. Some people need that structure, right? But if you're like, you know what, I want to talk about this. I do that with mine all the time. I want to talk about this. And then
Okay.
I just talk about what I want to, So you want people to know what to expect from you, but it's fine to move things around. It's fine to do what's feeling heart-centered. It's fine to be like, oh, I'm speaking, like I had a whole other plan. And then I'm like, oh crap, I'm speaking at this podcasting conference. I should totally use that. Let's throw that in there. Right. So
Mhm.
you have that flexibility. So, okay.
Okay.
Yep. So first is how to make sure I like the intro of you first. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. We'll come back to that here in a minute. But yes, I like that
Okay.
how I
Number
got
2.
here.
So number 2, the private mode. I
Okay.
think jumping into, because you can do private mode on LinkedIn and Sales Navigator.
Great. Love
And,
it.
and then number 3, that's an audit. So I'll give, high level overview, quick overview on things that are actionable and can be done in 15 minutes or less or something like that.
Okay.
And then let's see. Then I'll start with Snoop Dogg.
Okay, good.
Oh, actually, no, I think I'll start with that. I can't think of the NFL player name. He used to play for the Arizona Cardinals. Oh gosh.
Okay, cool.
I'll do him because I want to see when the Winter Olympics start.
Yeah, let me look. Because now you're already in February, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we want to look is, if you look at the calendar, I'll pull up a calendar. Oh, hold on. I don't know if this works. Hold on. Oh, well, let me pull up my calendar on my phone. But if you look at the calendar, so if your first episode is going to go live January 5th,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do Mondays, you can do whatever, like whatever day. And if you do twice a month, which is it is good for
Mm-hmm.
now, if you want to go weekly, do it, right? If you're feeling it. But I would say for the first little bit, do every other week. But
Okay.
up to you. So then if you do the 5th, now we're looking at the 5th, the 19th, and now you're already in February, right? So it's really only 2, sometimes 3 a month, just depending on the month.
Okay. In the Winter Olympics, February 6th through February 22nd.
Yeah, so that's a great one for that. We have first week of February to do Snoop Dogg.
So is that the third? Would that be the third one?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the 3rd.
Okay.
Yep. So your one on the 5th could be your intro. The one on the 19th could be private mode.
Yep.
Then you could just do Snoop on like
Mhm.
February 2nd. And you don't have to have them be on Mondays. You can move them to Tuesdays or whatever, right? So,
Okay.
I like to do business ones on, early in the week because once people get moving,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of my clients who do business to consumer ones, we actually do them on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
Like, because it's a night, like, I have a client, I think I told you, you guys know Denise Caperso. She's
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that podcast where she's, talking about reality TV.
Hmm.
And she's doing Fridays or Saturdays
Okay.
because it's a good little guilty pleasure on a Friday afternoon on your drive home, but none of us have that podcast. So we're
Okay.
a weekday. We're a weekday podcast. So assuming you do Mondays, then you
Hmm.
could do Snoop on the second. And it's great because you could be like,
Right
okay,
before.
yeah, who's excited to watch Snoop? Right? I
Yeah,
think that would be really fun. And then on the 16th, you could do
that would be my audit.
an audit.
Yeah.
And then March 2nd, you could do your favorite. I, I,
Mhm.
I honestly, I think you could go to weekly. I don't want to overwhelm you though. Right. But I think you have enough in this kind of format. I think you have enough that because it's kind of, you can just show up and audit. Right. So like the Snoop audit and like, let's say you're doing me as an audit, like there's no prep
No,
for you.
no.
And so you could go to weekly, and then the only ones that you have to prep for are the sales navigator. Even those you might not need to prep. So
Mm-mm.
you might be you might have enough content that you can flow to a weekly. But that's, it's a commitment. So I'm just throwing that out there. But
Well, I
um,
was thinking about it because I like to do content days. So
yeah,
I will create my content on one day and schedule it for the rest of the month. Like everything I had posted for Verve, I did that in one day.
yeah,
Um, and so that's what I would like if I were to like say Monday would be my day to record all my sales navigator clips or like
yeah,
5.
yeah. I have clients who do that. They'll come into the studio and they'll record like a quarter's worth of content.
Yeah. Okay.
And they
Wow.
just bang it out. I'm planning to do that too, actually. I think the day that no, sorry, not you. My next Heart of the Hustle day, right? I'm gonna have my assistant stay longer and I'm just gonna bang through like 4 podcasts at once, just so I have them done because the holidays are coming. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that would be a great way to do it. And you could do it. We did this with a client this week. He came in and did reels. We did short reels for all the holidays for a whole year.
Oh, wow.
So he's an insurance guy. Danny, you know him, Brad Kiesling. And we did ChatGPT did a great job. We were like, we want funny holiday related questions about insurance, which is like the most boring topic ever. And they were hysterical. So one of them was like, if a kid steals all my candy on Halloween, can I claim it on my insurance? Right? Or all sorts of like if a kid, I mean, this is if my dog bites a kid on my doorstep on Halloween, is it covered on my homeowner's insurance, right?
Good question.
Um, so there were a whole bunch of funny ones. He did some funny ones. You have to follow him. Some great ones at Christmas. We had him with a Santa hat, and he did these great ones at Christmas where he was like, if Santa's sleigh damages my roof, is it covered on home insurance? Right. If Rudolph, and they were really fun. And he's got that kind of personality. He can do those. My point in saying that is you could go into the home studio, my studio, whatever you want to do, and record like all the sales navigator ones for the next 6 months. It doesn't mean you have to release them that way, right? You can build in the other ones in between. So don't let the schedule hold you back from batching content, even if it's going to be used a year from now. Because now he's going to have other things, other reels he'll do in between the holidays, but now at least he has them. So
Okay.
you can absolutely do that.
Okay. I love that.
Good. All right. So you've got your kind of your plan going.
Yes.
Think
I
about
thought-
a weekly. Um, the one thing for you as we're talking about this is you're going to want to practice with using Riverside and sharing your screen and making sure you're sharing correctly. And so you're not like, oh, wait, what? Let me click on
Okay.
you know. I made videos for you guys this week and they're in the community. I was completely late to the game in recording my Your Marketing Mentor podcast. Full disclosure, I did not have this, strategy moving forward. The dates caught up with me. My it was too late for my editor to do it. She lost power and electricity because of a storm, and so guess who edited it? So I did a video. I'm like, well, if I'm in Riverside, I'm just gonna do a video of me editing it so that you guys could watch me do it as just an extra supplemental learning. So that is in there as well. But it is a little, I used Riverside also to record it. And so it can be a little tricky of sharing, screens and make sure I'm doing the right one. If you've done it on Zoom, it's going to be easy, but just something that I would consider having just done it. I also created a video for you of me making all the marketing materials in ChatGPT. And so we're going to cover that next time in our next class, but I just want to let you know that that's out there too if you want to jump ahead. I wanted to record both of those for you. I did it perfectly imperfect, right? You get to see me a little like, oh, wait, I don't like that. Let's do it again. But that's real, right? That's how
Mhm.
we're all going to do it. So, all right. Tamika, I like where this is going.
I feel
Digital
much better.
swagger that sells.
I feel much better about it now.
Okay.
So, thank y'all.
Good. Tasha, any feedback? Anybody else have feedback for Tamika?
I think the title's great. I do. I like it. I think you'll be amazing.
You-
Yeah, and you're so good at those little like Tamika spoke at a conference that I was at on Saturday, and she was like, it only takes 15 minutes, and don't tell me that you don't have 15 minutes, because girl, I will find you 15 minutes. You said it, Tamika. I'm not as cool as you, so I sound like a dork saying it, but
But I
you're
found
like
15 minutes for everybody.
you did. Yeah, it was great. It was a great, great, great presentation. But use that personality in there.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. Now Tasha has the don't call on me face.
only because there's so much going on. I'm just like, whoa. Because I
Do
really
we
have a
need-
lot of
Go ahead before you start. Do we need a bio break? I know Danny
Tamika's
just
like,
took one.
yes.
Tamika needs one. I could
Already
use
did.
one. I know Danny was like, I'm peace out.
I'm out. Yeah.
I gotta go. So can we take a
Yeah.
quick five? Take a quick five. Tasha, I'm sorry. I know you're just starting.
Don't apologize. It's all good.
All right, we'll be right back. Danny changed venues. I saw you walking through the halls.
Yeah, I moved into our office. It was a lot quieter.
Okay, good.
It was super noisy out there in the hall. But we had a client in, and she had to stay on with them.
Yeah, no, I get it. Is Kelly there?
She is. She just stepped out. She's going to
just gonna
grab
say
us
hi.
both lunch.
I was just gonna say hi. Kelly's the one who we meet every month, and she's like, revenue's great this month. You're spending too much money. And this or or revenue's bad this month, which is good because you don't have to pay as much in taxes. So here's what you're
There
gonna
you
have to
go.
pay next.
I
you
don't
know.
like when she tells me that either.
I know, right?
Stop spending so much money. That's not as much fun, Kelly. I tell her that all the time.
I know. She's very nice. She's not like that. She's like, spending looks good. I'm like, where am I spending it? You have a lot in this area.
Yeah,
I'm always like,
whatever. Who asked you anyway? That's what I tell her. Who asked you?
she's like, you're paying me to tell you that.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we're business partners, so. Oh,
It's too funny. It's too funny. I'm so proud of everything you guys have done, Sydney. It's amazing.
it's been a lot of like elbow grease and grit and
Mm.
grind, for sure. But I think honestly, bringing Danny on is the biggest testament I feel to our growth and expansion. Just because having someone that can be kind of a lateral, a client facing person for us is huge. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. And happy for
Yeah.
Danny and all of us. We've got a really good team. Bringing new folks on always makes me really nervous because you get a good vibe going in the office. And not that I was worried about Danny, it's really more bringing in more women could be a bigger issue than the two guys we've brought on. I guess for you guys, I mean, we've only like our accounting firm is Ledger Ladies, and then we did Broad Basis, which was our financial planning leg. So Kelly and I, being two women, really played with the female terminology for that. And so we've historically only had female employees, but we brought on someone on the tax side last year, and then Danny, of course, this year. So anyways, it's always
You're
funny.
the token dude, Danny.
Absolutely.
That's me. I'll be that guy.
I'm just
It'll make
teasing.
our marketing material super fun.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah, and they started doing bookkeeping and accounting and doing that for me, and then added on the financial planning, and now the Broad Basis manages all my. I don't think it's a 401k anymore. This is why I need you guys.
IRA.
Whatever
Yeah, it
whatever
was
I'm
your
saving
401.
money into.
Yeah.
The thing where I'm like, just take out this much a month and just put it
Yeah.
somewhere so that my husband stops bothering me.
That's pretty much how we operate, and it works out really well.
Works out great. It works out great. So awesome. All right, Tasha, you're up.
Hi. Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying before we went for our little mini break, I have so much going on in my head. And I'm very much, I see the bigger structure first and then dig down.
Great.
So I'm really trying to align it with the broader business. And I was talking to Mika earlier about my name, the name. I went through thousands of different names, but I've gone back and I've kind of secured the name, and it's the People Advantage. Because the brand name is creating competitive, sustainable advantage through your people. So that's what we do. And we really want to leverage your team and create return on investment with your people, because everyone sees people as an expense. But if you know how to leverage them, they can actually be profitable for your business. So that's kind of the basis of the whole business anyway. But I also didn't want to make it too businessy title, because I'm a psychologist. I'm not a business person. So I really wanted to stick with the people side, because that's me, where the business side is my dad. So I've gone with that,
Fantastic.
and it's short. It's only 3 words, because you said it can't be more than 3. So I'll try to stick to the kind of script what you told us to do. But
We're
that's
letting
fine.
Tamika have 4. She's getting a little a little hall
Loud.
pass for that one. But yeah. Okay, it's great. Tasha, I love it. I think it's great. I think it feels more aligned. So remind us of your podcast brand promise and what you're going to be offering
Okay.
in the podcast.
So the general idea was to interview people all over the world. My dad's got lots of connections from South Africa to England to here, which was great. And based on that, we've got at least 14 topics already. But as I said, I can't just be that because it needs to be a long-term thing. And I also need to make sure that it's not always just about old white men. So I need to bring in younger women, lots of different nationalities and cultures, and that's what I want to bring to it. So I can't just be based solely on that. But I liked what you were saying about kind of micro topics, because these topics we've got are big topics. So I could easily break them down into, yeah, the interview is one part of it, but then let's take that out and then let's explore a specific area of that bigger topic. So I like that. I haven't really thought of like your content pillars. I really like that idea as well. So I need to think like interviewing will obviously be a big part of that. But and the case studies. The case studies are massive in the book that my dad's already written, in the stories that he'll be bringing up with the interviews. But I thought we could maybe take that out and have a separate thing just looking at those case studies. But I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. But I'd also like to take like latest business topics that are really in the forefront and then explore those further. So those are kind of where I'm at. But I haven't thought about like the titles. I had titles, but when you said they need to be Googleable, I'm thinking those are not going to be Googleable. So I need to think about what is going to be the title that people can actually Google easily. So I need to think about that.
And that's okay. You don't need to have that. And that's something you could always, so for my Heart of the Hustle show, I interview the person. We do not have a title. We then take the transcript. You're going to learn this next week, put it into ChatGPT, and then we have ChatGPT give us a Googleable
Nice.
title that is based on what they talked about.
Nice. I like that.
Our titles for Heart of the Hustle tend to be a little longer than I would normally recommend. And the
Okay.
reason why is we want to get in all the keywords that we feel like our guests need. So that's a constant struggle. But for you guys, I would keep them, relatively short, 6, 8 words tops. So you don't need to know it right now, but I think you need to still have a plan of what you're going to do for the next, for the first however many episodes. And maybe you just start with like, hey, we're going to do interviews with these 14 people, and we're going to let that open up the micro topics. And even if you're like, I don't even know what they might be, you'll start thinking about it while you're watching the interviews, while you're editing them. And then you could always, upload you're going to upload the transcript into ChatGPT anyway, because you're going to use that for some of the resources that are going to come out of it. And we're going to learn that next time. But you could also say, hey, I want to create, micro session or micro, podcasts from this content. What are some of the most Googled topics that were talked about during this that I can talk about with just me and maybe my dad?
Yeah, that sounds great.
And if you train it, you're going to train it like I'm Tasha, this is my dad, this is my approach, this is my dad's approach. You can even tell, like, I don't want to just have, just old white dudes. I want to be able to, so then you go back and forth and you say, we're going to do this. And then we're going to look for micro topics underneath that just dad and I can talk about that are more, that are a little bit more niche. And then it's just you and your dad. And you could be like, hey, recently on the podcast, we had Joe, right? And Joe was telling us this case study of how this happened. And we want to, one of the things that really came up that we felt we wanted to explore more was this topic, right? How to manage Gen Z. Right? How to get the most out of your Gen Z employees. Like, talk about a hot topic. right? Is quite, and I'm just making stuff up. I don't know if any of this is in your wheelhouse, so you can just tell me to shut up. But, it could be, um, is quiet quitting still a thing in 2026?
Mhm.
Right? Um, and so there will be topics that come out of that you can utilize. And that may, and if you're really like, I'm not sure, have chat help you.
Sounds great.
Let me help you, right? And so maybe you just plan out those 14 interviews first, and then you start doing your own out of it just to get you moving. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I mean, mine is going to be much more planned compared to the other people that are speaking because mine can't be, I have to have proper interviews. I've got to prep the interviewer. I've got to do lots of the interviewee, and there's a lot of preparing to do. I mean, obviously, I don't want it to be too scripted. That would be terrible. But at least I need to have all the interview questions and kind of the angle that I hope that they will go. And then from each interview or from each podcast, I really want something practical to come out of it for the listener. So what are the tips you can take away? What are the lessons learned? How can you apply it straight away? I really want it to be practical because that's also part of our business is that we leave people with practical things that they can implement straight away. So I really want that at the end of the podcast.
Okay. Do you think that some of these conversations are going to be able to be contained within a 20 to 40 minute container?
40 minutes, yes. 20 minutes, maybe not.
Because I wonder if there's if you go into these interviews with the intention of doing multiple episodes, because it's going to be a lot, and if you want people to leave with very succinct
Yeah.
things
Steps.
and
Mhm.
takeaways, that maybe you say, hey, we're going to talk about, part 1 and part 2 of the case study or whatever it is. Let's only talk about this piece for the first part, and then this is going to be the takeaway. And then we'll do a second part and then a third part. Um,
Mhm.
I have another client who did kind of a business podcast telling stories about how people built their businesses, and just because of the nature of the people he had on it, they would be like hour and a half episodes, and he didn't want to cut it short. And he wanted to let the conversation flow, which I get. But they were really long,
Yeah, I couldn't listen to them.
and no one listened to him.
No.
We reevaluated, but I think if you can guide, if you know enough about the person, which you should, right? Is if you can say, hey, I want to do a topic with you on this, instead of just sort of a like, hey, let's talk about whatever we feel like.
I mean, that's what we
That,
would do. That's what we've done. So I've got all the
yeah.
topics laid out, and there's specific people that we're linking to the different topics because of
Can
their
you cut
experience and their
those
background.
topics into 20-minute chunks with
Maybe.
having the same guest for multiple episodes? So
Oh,
you can
yes.
say we're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
a three-part series with Joe. And in this
definitely.
first part of the series, we're going to talk about this. And in the
Yes, of
second part, we're
course.
going to talk about that. And then the nice thing about doing it that way is you've got a lot of content, and now you've got 3 episodes out of 1 interview.
Yeah, that
And
could
it makes
definitely
it
be done.
it
Yeah.
makes it a little bit easier for you. It could be a 4-part series, and then you could go, you could end up doing a weekly if you wanted, where now you've got a full month's worth of content out of 1,
Okay, thank you.
and you do it as a series. Because I'm just trying to find ways of making it easier for you too. Because if you did that and you've got 14 people and you make them shorter episodes, now you've got your Googleability, which is a technical term.
Obviously.
Obviously. But now you've got maybe more Googleable topics. They're a little bit shorter. They're a little bit, you can make them really actionable, and you'll have to provide maybe some of that structure or have them help you with that. Now you've got 14 guests. You've got over a year of podcasts that you could do, and you could still have a weekly. And you could even say, I'm going to have these guys, I'm going to interview these guys, and I'm going to do 4-part series, but in between part 2 and part 3, or even a 2-part series, like my dad and I are going to do
Micro topic. Mhm.
yeah, another micro topic or whatever. And you could um just record a bunch of those, right? You could, just sit down and do content for those. Um like in a day, kind of in a day or whatever. Because I think one of the biggest challenges for you, because you guys are doing it together and you're doing it in like a studio environment, is as someone who does this, it's a lot to get everything turned on. I mean, it's not a lot, but it feels like a lot to get everything set up and turned on. And like, right? Like I didn't turn on my good lighting, today. One, I like that it's cloudy and I want the proper sunlight and it doesn't really matter to me. But like I don't go to the studio a lot of times to do mine. I'll just do it at home because it feels like a project. So if you're going to take on the project, then you can
Mhm.
just record a whole bunch at once and then you don't have to worry about it because I am you might not feel like that, but I sometimes feel like that, especially if you're having to set up walls and
Yeah. Okay.
it's a
Thank
thing.
you.
What do you think about that? Because now, I mean, you
I
you
like
could have
that.
a year plan over a year.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Because I mean, we have a lot of content. It's just, as you've just said, how you structure it, how you break it up, how you
Yeah.
utilize it to the best ability. So that's great. I like that.
And then you use what you've got
Yeah.
and you don't worry about like figuring out how you and your dad become the hosts. And then it's very easy for you could maybe start doing some micro topics in between.
Mhm. I had thought about that
That's a nice transition. You know
in
what I
terms
mean?
of the more psychology behind business kind of topics. So yeah, I'll think about that.
The other thing that you could do is you could do this isn't the right word, but I'm just going to throw it out there. A psychology minute, you know, or psychologist take or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever is. I always get those confused. But you could say like, I after interviewing, and this is just you, right? After interviewing so and so, I had a couple real reflections on what they were talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a great idea.
And that could be its own episode. Or it could be something that you just do on LinkedIn. And you could always say, like at the end of the episode, you could be like, to hear Tasha's, I don't know, psych moment with Tasha. I don't know. What it is.
Side moment. I have a lot of those. So you know that.
Yeah. Mind science moment with Tasha or whatever it is, head over to our LinkedIn page and hear her perspective, a little bit more about the psychological side of what we talked about today. And you could do your own. Now that's another project. But you could do it, that could be, it doesn't need to be as edited because it's
No.
not,
Mhm.
it's not a thing. It's not a podcast. You don't need to add the intro and the exit and
No.
it doesn't need to be quite as you could just do LinkedIn Live.
Yeah.
Tamika, do we like LinkedIn Live? Yeah, okay. But you could do it as a LinkedIn Live. And so maybe when the episodes come out, you rewatch it and you can be like, because you're probably just going to edit it as you go. And then you just turn on the camera and do your LinkedIn Live about the episode. I'm just trying to think of
Amazing.
ways we get you alone,
Mhm.
you guys together, but then you alone
Yeah.
to help with that transition. Because now you're going to have air cover that's going to get you through. If you have 14, truly have these 14 people, like you've got content for a year and a quarter, right? Because you're going to have holidays, and even if you do almost every week, you could do these 10-minute episodes, cut every interview into 4 pieces. You've got content into next year, but now you're doing some things too. And
Yeah.
so there's a little bit more of a natural progression to
Transition. Hmm.
just you.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you think?
I think it's
Any other,
great.
do you guys have any thoughts for her? I'm going to shut up for a second. What do you think?
I like the whole do the interview, break it into 3 or 4 parts, and then do the psych second.
Micro.
Yeah, micro.
Micropsych.
Yeah, I like that a lot because then it's like you take it into and put it in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also like directing them to LinkedIn or another platform because then that helps you with building your personal brand.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because that's always been the struggle in this, right? Of how do we start building you without, you know, having it be a slow roll. And I think this is one way to do it.
And
I really
another,
like the summary at the end. You coming in, like putting like the specific psychological spin on it, tying in the points that you're talking about. I think I don't obviously know all the details of your transition, but that definitely, I would, just being a podcast skipper througher like I am, I'd like hit the high points on the interview and then go to your piece. Like, that's just being honest. I am a big podcast listener and that's kind of how I roll. So,
Thank
um,
you.
Yeah, and
That's
if you
great.
wanted to get fancy, you could create a commercial that's halfway through the podcast and you say to listen to Tasha's whatever,
Tasha's
head
takes.
over to our LinkedIn page to listen to Tasha's, reflections on whatever. It's almost like Bravo, when they do the reality TV shows and they have the thing at the end, right? Where they have the interview at the end
With Andy.
with Andy, right?
Yeah,
It's its own show, but they promote it like, hey, stay tuned to the end. Right? So we could build that in as a little, like you could build a little commercial in.
I like
And then
that.
that again, that's promoting you solo and also it's a way to get your dad's network and his, your guest networks to start following you on LinkedIn. So you're building your network with those people, and that will help with support with whatever transition you guys come up with down the road.
Excellent. Thank you.
Danny, what do you think? Or are you eating and not paying attention?
I
It's
was
fine too.
eating and cutting in and out. I'm sorry. I was
That's
so
okay.
hungry. Kale's
That's
here.
okay. I just got mine.
Ah, hi.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
Sorry if you're
Usually
having to
Sherry
listen.
gets to see me on our meetings with no makeup on and my hair on top of my head. So
I know. I'm like, you're
I'll,
dressed.
occasionally
I'll
do
let y'all
get
put a
dressed.
face. There's no makeup and hair's a mess. I've been in a hospital all week, but hi, ladies.
Hi. Yeah, Kelly, because we know each other well enough, we always talk on days when we're like, usually Fridays and Mondays, we're both like, no makeup, yoga pants. So I have yoga pants on, but so good to see you. So Tasha, this feels like it's going to require some organization on your part. It's going to require some meeting with the guests on your part to say, how can we break this up into 4 pieces? But if you go in with that intention, I think you could you could do a weekly freaking show and just crank it out.
Sounds great.
And then your little like Tasha's moment, whatever, we'll come up with a better name, is, you could just do that where you are right now, right? Get a better ring light. You don't have
Yeah.
to like have the whole studio
Be
thing
the
to
studio.
do, it's almost meant to be something a little bit, a little bit different. So you could do it where you are now or whatever, right?
I've
So
got
you
another
can make
space I could use. Yeah.
you could make that a little less formal for yourself so you don't feel
Mhm.
like you're always having to like,
Go there.
have your hair done and whatever. Like, it's a thing. I mean, I have 2 shows. I get it. Yeah, Tamika, good point. It'll make you more relatable. Not that you're not relatable now, but okay. How was today?
Amazing.
Did you like, now that we did it, did you like this format where we kind of listen to everyone else's, or are you like, I regret that I made that decision? Okay.
Oh, you learn from everybody.
that's
It's
good.
great. Mhm.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone's feedback, and so this was very good.
Okay. This is my first round on this one, so it's good to get the feedback. So I appreciate you. A couple things. So don't forget that you need to have headshots, right? Colors, logos, all that stuff in the folder. So that, and now that everybody's got their titles nailed down, can you please work on that this week? So everything is in that Google Drive and those links are in your folder. Danny and Sydney. Oh, well, Tasha, do you have pictures?
I would have some of me now, but I want to get my dad and I together because obviously
want-
he's the co-host.
Then this is the same question for Danny and Sydney. Do you guys
Yeah.
want to both plan a photo shoot to do that?
We actually have one scheduled
Very good.
on 14th or 15th.
Okay.
Danny, what
Kelly
yeah,
said
Kelly,
14.
whatever day are at the 14th. Okay, that's when it is.
Okay, cool. All right.
We're doing that at the Christmas party. That's the same.
Yeah, we're doing our Christmas pictures. I mean, I don't. Are you doing Are we doing headshots there?
I could give her,
Yes, we are, Kel. I talked to Dina about it.
Okay.
But I guess Sherry, if it's still a question, so I might reach out to you to get something scheduled.
Yeah, because I mean, I think if it's Christmas party pictures, it's going to be a little different maybe than what we need, but it doesn't mean
No.
they can't do it. I can give her direction on what we need, or him.
Yeah, so last year we brought an outfit change. So we do a picture for what we send out, or the card we send out to our clients at Christmas time. So we do that picture, but then we've done like company photos every year, and then we'll do some headshots. So
Good. Yeah, do
I
it.
don't know what the venue is going to be or anything like that. So we've got to sort that out.
All right. Well, I'm happy to give guidance to you guys that you can give to the photographer. The only thing is we will need it fairly quickly after that. Like early
Okay.
December. We'll work on everybody else's thumbnails and we'll just have yours kind of be next, just so we have it. So I'd probably want a picture of just you and, probably just you and Danny, since you guys are the ones who are going to be the hosts. So, and I can give them some guidance on what that needs to look like.
Okay.
So, or we can do something separate, but if you're already there and you're dressed and you have a photographer, there's no reason to do a separate shoot.
Yours are always pretty, so that's why I'm still considering.
I mean,
it.
mine are really good.
Yours are really good, and
Poor Kelly,
minus that one time we did our
Same.
photo shoot. Kelly and I both were sick with COVID, and when I
Oh.
tell you, Kelly showed up to my house, hair not done, makeup not done, and we had already rescheduled on Sherry twice. And Kelly looked like death warmed
Oh,
over.
she looked like death. I mean,
it was awful. But when I tell you, Sherry made magic. I mean, they don't.
I pulled up to Sydney's house and I'm sitting in the car and I don't even have the strength to open the car door. She comes out of her house and starts hollering. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I can't move. So she takes me into her bathroom, sits me on a chair, starts straightening my hair and putting makeup on my face, and then like has to carry me back to the car.
We're doing
Oh yeah,
this.
we
She's like,
took
"We're doing
so
this."
many
I'm like,
breaks.
okay.
We took so many breaks so I could like we'd get water and I mean Kelly would just fall asleep in whatever chair we were sitting in
Like
between
white as a ghost with like fever. Oh, we
we
did it. We
didn't
made it work.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I mean we
didn't
didn't know it was COVID at the time, but
figured it
anywho's
out.
yeah. Well,
Well, and if
Sherry,
you
I
guys
could really
want to
tell
do like
you that
brand pictures, we could do that.
I don't want to cancel on you. So I forced her off her deathbed to not cancel on you a third time.
I was like, you guys could have rescheduled. Like, it's fine.
Oh.
They came out well though, but Kelly, I know you know, Kelly's like lost a whole person since then. So and that was a long time ago. So we can whatever you got. I mean, if that's a way that I can be of service, cool. If not, if you've got a photographer, cool. Let me just think about it and let me know. But Tasha, we should probably do something with you. We can do something very quick, right? If any, and I'm throwing this out to everybody. Tamika, I just did your picture, so this doesn't count for
And
you.
they're fabulous. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's
they're
the
so
first
good.
time my pictures have ever turned out the way I see myself.
That's awesome.
So just saying.
That's cool.
But so we could either just to get it done, we could try to plan just something quick, where we just get the picture that we need for the thumbnail. We did that with Denise Capurso. I just did some pictures in the lobby at my office, and then we literally made her thumbnail that day. So we could totally do that if you wanted to do something quick, or if you guys need like brand pictures for your other stuff, for your website and your social media and brochures and whatever, then we can just make it into a brand shoot where we do something more significant. So I will leave it up to you guys to kind of decide what makes the most, like what makes the most sense for you, and then we'll schedule something. But we need to get it done in the next couple weeks, just so we have it. Tasha, I'm going to see you well, we're getting together. Are we together next week where we're at the Girl Cave? I don't know if you want to have him come with you.
Think we're off next week.
Oh yeah, we're off next
Yeah,
week,
it's
but
Halloween. Mhm.
the week after, the 7th, we're at the Girl Cave. So I'll throw this out to all of you guys. If you want to, while we're in person, just get something quick that we could use, we could make that happen while we're at Willow Bend. And then that gives us enough time to still get it done. So Danny, I'll throw that out to you and Sydney too.
Okay.
Is that a
Um,
Thursday or a Friday?
It's a Friday. It's the 7th. Next week we're off for Halloween.
Yeah.
And then the following week. So if you wanted to come, you're welcome to sit in on the whole class. We're talking about marketing.
See our schedule.
Then we can do that. So Tasha, think about that. Just let me know because I don't bring my camera with me unless you tell me. So
Okay, thank you.
that might be an easy way to do it. Or if you need like a proper brand shoot, we can organize that too. And that's probably a separate discussion, but I'm happy to just throw that in if you guys do it at the Girl Cave when we're there. So options.
Fabulous.
Awesome, guys. All right. Anybody, any final questions?
Sure, I just have a couple that I'll shoot you a text, and if you've got time later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or I can stay. I can't stay on. Sorry, I have another meeting at
That's all
1:30.
good. Yeah, I'll just shoot you a text and I'm on the road, so whenever you get a minute.
Awesome. All right, guys. I'm excited.
Thank
So we are
you.
not meeting next week. We are meeting next. Let me look at the schedule. So no class next week. The next one is the 7th at the Girl Cave. And then the 14th, there's going to be another in person, and that's where we're going to record our intros and our outros. And then I've got office hours after that. So everybody should also be working on your intros and your outros. If you want to send them to me, I'm happy to review them because you need to have those done for the 14th as well. So I'll put some reminders in the thing, but and then we record.
Scary.
Oh my goodness.
So
We got this, y'all. We got this.
yeah, it'll be great.
Easy
It'll be
peasy.
great. It'll be great. The other thing I'll put in the group is to start showing us pictures of the lighting in your studios and stuff so we can see it. Danny's is done. Danny, I have a behind the scenes video for you. I'll put that on the thing. I think it should be done. It might be done today. It
All right,
was
cool.
done, but I didn't like the colors she used for the branding. So
All good. Sent you a picture of the new chairs and table we just got. and a
I
little bit of-
love it. I love it. Let me see if I can pull it up for everybody.
Wendy's throwing in a little bit of art. We got some plants to put on the sides, and I don't know. Wendy is nesting.
Oh, that's nice.
Very smart.
Yeah, very clean. I like that.
Oh yeah, the art's
Love
not
it.
up on the wall in that picture, but yeah, there's a little bit more to it. But leave that
Yeah.
to the wife. Every
Definitely.
suggestion I come up with, she's just no. She's like, no.
You should know better. You should know better. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. I love spending time with you. Thank you so much. And
Good
I'll see you in a
stuff.
couple
Thanks,
weeks.
Sherry.
All right.
All
Bye.
right.
Thank you.
See ya.